So it's 2010, and let's say you wanted to pick up one of those tablets for browsing the internet. One thing you might have picked up was this Samsung Galaxy tablet. This is the first Samsung Galaxy Android tablet there is. And here's the box for it. This one was on Verizon. As you can tell, it looks very dated by today's standards, which is to be expected. But let's just go ahead and open this up. Now, I don't have the tablet in here right now, but this is the type of charger it originally came with. Looks very similar to the Apple 30-pin charger like they had on the iPhone 4S and older. But no, it's different. It is not compatible. And here we just have some manuals and stuff, and nothing too important. Nothing as nicely put together as like what Apple does. But it gets the job done. So let's set this aside and take a look at the tablet itself. And here we have it. It's completely made out of plastic. It's very glossy. And you can see that mine has some wear on it because this is not brand new. There's a micro SD card slot. It came with a 16 gigabyte one. And I don't think this has much internal storage. So you kind of have to rely on that. We have the volume button, power button. On top, we have a headphone jack, which is really nice to have. It'd be sad if those ever went away. Over here, we just have a microphone and some damage. And we have speakers. One might be a microphone. Oh no, microphone's here. Some tri-wing screws, similar to what you would find on like a Game Boy. And in the middle, we have that wide charger. So here we have the first Galaxy tablet. And here we have the first iPad. A quick rundown and comparison of these on the exterior. You can tell that they both have a curved back, but this one has no camera, which that was quickly changed in the second generation iPad. But this does have a camera, and we'll take a look at that. This has no micro SD card slot, because no iPads do. This is all aluminum, and it feels pretty nice. Obviously, these will get dented up really easily, but this obviously feels much cheaper. But overall, they both held up pretty good. This one held up better just because this isn't printed on as much as kind of like engraved. Turning it on, you can see we have a lock screen here. And here's where you can mute it. And it does have a vibrator in it, so that's something kind of interesting for a tablet to have. And we have interesting font for the time, and just slide to unlock. And here we have some navigation keys that illuminate, so that's kind of nice. And you don't really get that anymore. It's usually on screen, but I actually prefer this more. I don't know why. It just seems easier to use for me. You don't have to like swipe up from the bottom to get to them. So I'm not going to go too in depth because I think this is pretty much stock Android 2.3. That is what this is running. We get this Android Easter egg, which is the very first one. It's just a picture, but then you can tell that it looks quite a bit different from modern Android, and I really like how this operating system looks. It just looks so nice to me. So here we have the applications, and this is not how it was set up from factory. I customized it, installed a few apps, but you can't do a whole lot, but you can definitely do more than you can with the older Apple devices. I customized this so that the home screen is the apps that work, and I would actually kind of use them. The ones that don't give me an error that they can't connect to a server or anything. So everything here does work. If you go into the files, you can see that I have APKs in here. So let's go ahead and install CPU-Z so we can take a look at the specifications of this device. And that's one really nice thing about old Android. You don't have to do any hacking or anything to install applications like you do on iOS. And that installed really fast. You can just get the APK files, make sure that they're old enough for your version of Android, and you can install them. It's so nice to have that, and I really wish it was that easy on old Apple devices, because once the App Store goes, you have to hack it to get any applications on it. But if we just go into the applications and go to CPU-Z, this has an ARM Cortex A8 at 1 gigahertz. This has 445 megabytes of RAM. That might actually be 512 megabytes, which is pretty average for the time. It's double what the iPad had. And you can see we don't have much internal storage at all. And this is running Android 2.3.5. And the battery health is good apparently, which it does last quite a while for how old this thing is. And no thermal data. So let's just go through a few of these applications on the home screen here, just so you can kind of get an idea of what they are like. So we already looked at settings and files. We can go into the alarm clocks, and you can set the clock style. That's interesting. I think that one looks pretty cool. Yeah, you can set alarms and stuff, and of course this will still work completely fine. We have a music player. Works good. And a video player. This can play up to like 720p video, I believe. Maybe. In the gallery looks like this. It's pretty interesting. I just have a few random pictures on here. That's a wreath made out of computer parts. Just a stock image. And some keys saying Merry Christmas. So this is what the camera application looks like. There's some options here. There's one that can detect if you smile, panorama, and some of those options. Some of those. And it does actually have a flash. So that's kind of interesting for a tablet, especially of this age. The resolution can go up to 2048 by 1536. That seems a little odd. But I'll take some sample photos and maybe a video with this, and I'll add it to the video. So we'll see how that looks. Here is a test video of the Samsung Galaxy tablet, the first one, and let me know what you think. I don't know what this will look like because I can barely see the screen outdoors. Although it does get fairly bright, especially for this old of a tablet. So let's get into the more interesting stuff. Can you do anything on the internet with this? Well, with the stock web browser, you can't get too far. For some reason, it has its separate brightness control right here. I don't know why that would be separate from the rest of the device, but okay. So we're here at Google. It looks a little weird because it's not quite loaded correctly. It's rounded here and it's not really like that. So if we just go to, I don't know, YouTube. It's just not working. It says you need Android 4 or above to use YouTube. It's kind of weird how it says you need a specific operating system and not a specific web browser. So I don't really understand that. Of course, the website, the old net, will work. Although, unfortunately, it seems like they're having some issues. But the website loads fine, as you would expect on a tablet. Because this isn't like a Windows 95 computer. How do I close this? I don't know. But I installed Firefox, which is definitely a more up-to-date web browser. And it's semi-usable. So if we just go to Google on here, it still doesn't load it correctly, but if we just go to old Reddit, which doesn't load in the other web browser, Takes a little bit, but it does work. You can actually browse Reddit on this. Now the normal new Reddit, I don't think works at all. Let's give that a try. Yeah, this doesn't load very well at all. Although it loaded more than I expected it to. So I found this really cool website that recreates the original YouTube experience. And the website is yt2009.aesthetiful.com. And that loads pretty good on here. And it's not too slow either. This is probably how it would have looked if you would have went to YouTube back in the day with this, which is super cool to see. So let's just go to a random video up here. Google Chrome icon project. Now it actually recommends old videos, which is really cool. So let's go to Google Chrome OS demo. And this actually does update for the videos you watch. So it like has different recommendations. So let's see if this will play. Sometimes I have bad luck on this just because it refuses to play at times. But there we go. We can turn this into landscape. How fast we can get the machine. And you can read the comments. You want the speed a matter of seconds. And you can browse YouTube like it was 2009. Now, of course, not all the features are going to work. You can't actually sign in or comment, I don't think. And but you can save videos to your favorites and stuff, and it's just really cool. And this is running Firefox 35. It can run a slightly newer version, but it does like to crash and just freeze up. So this is the best stable version to run on this. So let's try a quick game. I have Subway Surfers here, which is definitely a classic mobile game. So let's just see how that runs on here. Of course, it's going to be an older version just because newer versions just flat out won't work on this due to the Android limitation. So Subway Surfers was taking a while to load, and I remembered that I didn't close out the running applications. And the way you did this on Android 2 is you held down the home button, then you go to Task Manager, and then you can clear out each one, or you can just clear them all out. So now it should actually launch and not take forever. Yes, that was much better. So let's give this a try. Looks like a Halloween themed one. What happened there? Come on, it lagged there. Yeah, it's a little choppy, but it is running it. So would I recommend you go out and buy this? For a collection, absolutely. This is definitely a cool thing to have. It's always cool to look at how nice the old applications look. Look how nice that calendar looks. There's wood there. Anyways, but if you're going to get this to use as an actual tablet, I would say try to avoid it. Just because you're not going to be able to get Google Play Store working on this or anything. You can kind of watch YouTube. You can kind of play games. You can kind of do a lot, but not as much as like a newer, cheaper tablet. This would be a great tablet to give to like a kid if you don't want them exposed to the internet. You just don't install any up-to-date web browser, and you can just put videos or games and stuff on here, and this would be a great first tablet for kids, I think. This is definitely an interesting tablet just because it's a really early one for an Android tablet. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I really appreciate you for watching. Bye.